Hello and welcome, everyone. Today, we are delving into a captivating chapter of history that intertwines the worlds of medieval warfare, royal lineage, and modern scientific research. We're here to discuss Edward of Woodstock, also known as Edward the Black Prince, and to challenge one of the longest-standing assumptions about his death. As recent studies have revealed, contrary to popular belief, Edward did not die of chronic dysentery. I know you might be wondering, how exactly did scientists manage to overturn a centuries-old belief? So, let's dive right into the heart of the matter. Edward the Black Prince is a figure who needs little introduction for anyone with an interest in medieval history. Born in 1330, he was the eldest son of Edward III of England and Philippa of Hainault. The Black Prince was a pivotal figure in the Hundred Years' War, leading the English army to several significant victories against the French. His military accomplishments are so ingrained in our historical understanding that it's hard to imagine the Hundred Years' War without his leadership. However, his life was cut short in 1376 at just 45 years old, leaving his father and 10-year-old son to carry on without him. For centuries, it has been believed that Edward died from chronic dysentery. This conclusion was primarily based on the reported symptoms he suffered before his death, including prolonged episodes of diarrhea. But new research has come to light that challenges this long-held belief. The groundbreaking study in question was conducted by a team of interdisciplinary researchers who used the latest scientific techniques and technologies to re-examine Edward's death. They started by reassessing historical accounts of Edward's symptoms and his overall health. Medieval sources do report that Edward suffered from prolonged episodes of diarrhea, but the researchers argued that these symptoms could have been caused by a variety of illnesses, not just dysentery. In fact, the symptoms of chronic dysentery, including abdominal pain, fever, and severe frequent bouts of bloody diarrhea, do not perfectly align with the symptoms Edward reportedly experienced. Moreover, chronic dysentery, also known as amoebiasis, is primarily caused by the single-cell amoeba parasite. This condition is typically contracted from contaminated food or water and is highly contagious, yet there are no records indicating that others in Edward's household or army suffered from similar symptoms, further casting doubt on the chronic dysentery theory. To further examine this theory, the team turned to the cutting-edge field of paleopathology, the study of ancient diseases. They managed to gain access to a sample of Edward's remains, a rare opportunity in the study of ancient history. Using this sample, they carried out a range of tests, including DNA sequencing, to search for any signs of dysentery. But rather than confirming the presence of the dysentery-causing amoeba, the researchers made a surprising discovery. They found evidence of a different pathogen altogether. This pathogen is responsible for a condition not dissimilar to chronic dysentery, but with key differences in its progression and impact on the body. This would explain the similarities between Edward's symptoms and those of chronic dysentery, while also accounting for the discrepancies. What they found specifically was evidence of a bacterial infection, likely caused by Salmonella typhi or a closely related species. This is the bacterium responsible for typhoid fever, a serious and often fatal disease, particularly in the pre-antibiotic era. Symptoms of typhoid fever include fever, fatigue, stomach pains, and diarrhea, all of which were reportedly experienced by Edward the Black Prince. Typhoid fever would also explain the lack of contagion in Edward's household. Unlike dysentery, which is highly contagious, typhoid can be contracted from contaminated food or water, but is not usually passed from person to person in a household setting, especially if the contaminated source is removed quickly. There's a certain poetic irony in the notion that Edward, this figure of immense strength and strategic genius, could have been brought low by something as seemingly mundane as contaminated food or water. But such was the reality of life in the 14th century, even for a prince. In conclusion, we can say that the tale of Edward the Black Prince serves as a potent reminder of how our understanding of history is not set in stone but is constantly evolving as we develop new research techniques and perspectives. It's a testament to the relentless curiosity of the human spirit and our unending quest for knowledge. This recent study has not just rewritten the story of Edward's life and death, but it has also enriched our overall understanding of medieval health, hygiene, and disease transmission. In the grand scheme of things, knowing the cause of Edward's death may seem like a small detail, but in the grand tapestry of history, every thread matters. Each new discovery adds a little more texture, a little more color, a little more depth to our understanding of the past. So, the next time you read about Edward the Black Prince, remember not just the battles he won and the legacy he left behind, but also the story of his death, and how it took centuries and the progress of science to finally unravel its true cause. Thank you for joining us today in this enlightening journey through history, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating deep dive into the annals of our shared past.